Welcome to Merschman Seeds Cup of Joe. On this episode, Ben reviews soybean variety data from our sister company, MS Technologies. He talks about what makes this data reliable and how we use it to select our soybean varieties in our lineup. Did you know Santa Claus plants Merschman seeds?
Hi, this is Joe Merschman. Welcome to Merschman Seeds Cup of Joe. Today we have Ben and Turk, and today we're going to bring you up to date on what's new.
Absolutely. So, when the whole point of Cup of Joe started out, we talked about what we've been working on this week, and this week was a production week. I've been working on crunching numbers and setting schedules for what our seed production looks like, and looking at all the new varieties, and Skip crunched some numbers and helped me out with accumulating a bunch of data that we have here. So I have two different data sets that I wanted to talk about, and one of them comes from accumulation of test plots, and the other one comes from our MS Technology sister company, what the numbers look like for it. So a few of the numbers I wanted to talk about, start off, were the MS Tech data. And these are just percent of means. So when I have a product that is 105.1%, that means it's 5.1% higher than the average. When we have products that are in that 105%, that's a really high yielding product.
And those are done by maturity too in the MS Tech data.
Yep, so they may have like 30, probably not quite 30, 25 different sets of data that break down maturity. So you may be looking at, like, for example, the first one I wanted to talk about was the Cheyenne. We had talked about it a couple times already on Cup of Joe, how well it was doing out in the field and field reports. But the Cheyenne may be compared to everything from a 1.7 to a 2.1, and in that maturity group. So we're looking at 105.1 percent test over mean, and that is even compared to all of the products that are getting sent down to South America to be repopulated. So this is last year's class up against all of the new stuff, and when we have products that we're selling in the Merschman bags that are above the average by a significant margin like that, we know it's a really good soybean.
How many locations do you think in that?
34. 34, and we may drop a couple out depending on weather and
multiple
other
reps
things.
Per location.
Yep. So this is really strong data. One of the biggest breeding companies in the world is MS Technology. So when we have a product like this, it says exactly what it is.
That's pretty much like a guarantee. In other words, that thing is so solid that everything it was tested against in its maturity across a wide range of locations, and to yield 5% better means that it's top in its class.
Yep. And it's, like I said, it's up against all the new stuff as well.
And it's been doing that year after year after year to get to this point.
Correct. Yep, so the next one on the lineup, we move to our OSAGE. We've had our OSAGE launch since 2020, so that product's been in the lineup. It's a Peking bean. That's a soybean cyst. It has a different race of soybean cyst resistance, so that is 103.3% over test average, so the Peking numbers may be, the Peking numbers have a tendency to rise towards the top where the soybean cyst can be an issue, so it might be an indicator that soybean cyst levels are on the rise. And even older product than that is our Apache, 1926. It rolled in at 102.2%, so that's another really solid product in that mid group 2 maturity range. It'd probably be something when our salesmen build a package for your farm where they're trying to get 2 or 3 different numbers to mitigate risk. The Apache is probably going to be one of those ones that's just a true steady Eddie product that needs to be a part of the mix because it's got great stress tolerance. It's got very high yield potential. We had a customer that had that average over 100 bushel an acre over Nebraska this year, so it's just a real strong, solid product there. We roll into our 21 series McKinleys. McKinleys are 102 percent over test mean. That's a product that's been in the industry for a few years. Very high yielding product. Jeffersons are 102.4. Kennedys are 102.8. Kennedy showed out really strong again this year. It's probably our number 1 selling product. If you have anything in the mid group 3s, that's a product that's going to be a product that needs to be in the mix for sure. We're really proud of our Kennedys.
Yeah, it's probably almost 1 out of every 4 bags we sell in our company is probably Kennedy's. That's how strong it is.
Yeah, and it's been that strong for that long. It's just a proven product that can go on a variety of acres.
3rd year coming up the plate and hits a home run every time. So it's it again is a very solid product and has consistently shown that over a wide range of environments and weather conditions.
Right. It's going to be a very difficult product to replace because it's proven itself for multiple years. Austins are 101.6, very, very solid bean at a 4.0. The new Norfolks showed out very, very nicely, 103.7. So that's a nice niche that we needed to fit in the 4.3 range. Nashville's rolled in at 103.8. Not saying anything about anything in between or any of the other varieties we're not talking about, but I just wanted to highlight some of the high points here. And then we got some experimentals and stuff. So I'll post this so everybody can look at it. Just look at these knowing that this is the data from 30,000 feet that shows trends on which products are really, really excelling in the Merschman Seeds line.
And that would be across a wide range of environments and multiple, so it's solid.
Yep. And then this other one that we're going to attach is our soybean test plot data itself, which doesn't keep in mind very many, it talks about, there's lots of variables in here. You may have fungicide sprayed on some of these, you may not. They may be in rough dirt, they may be in better dirt, but
30 inch, 15 inch,
yep,
the whole, everything.
It's everything. So it's just a mashup of data, but I was very, very proud of how certain products that I had talked about before, how well they did, and I kind of wanted to tell you the scope of how many comparisons we've looked at and how well some of these soybeans are yielding. So the Cheyenne, that 2.0 that we were talking about, had 153 different comparisons to other products in the mix, and some of those products are compared multiple times. But on those comparisons, 153, the average of that product was a 72.2 bushel per acre.
So to average 72 bushels per acre, you've got to have some 82 bushel yields in there.
Yep.
In order to get that.
Yep. The OSAGEs, 245, they averaged 77. The Apaches, over 218 tests, averaged 69. The Arthurs, over 506 comparisons, averaged 73. The McKinleys were just shy of 500 at 499. They averaged 77.2. Jeffersons were 73.76 out of 459. Kennedys, we had 580 different comparisons, and they averaged 74.8.
And the more comparisons you have, you tend to dilute the data using.
Yep. So
to stay up that high, that many comparisons is a very solid number.
Yep, 352 comparisons on the Austins, they ran 71.49. 251 comparisons on the Norfolk, they ran 69. We know as we traveled south this year, the later season soybeans had a tendency to trail off. It's just how Mother Nature works. Sometimes the late season stuff yields better than the earlies. It was a very strong year for the mid to late group 3s in the south, so you're going to see some of these numbers trail off a little bit. The new Memphis had 224 comparisons, it yielded 67.88. The Nashville's had 131, and it yielded 67.48 as well. So very, very proud of our products in the lineup. Our salesmen know these products inside and out. They know how to place them, where to place them, why they're high yielding, and we just have another really strong lineup this year, and it's probably the most fun fall that I can say that I've had, with farmers just elated with how their soybeans yielded this year and how well they managed the stress. And industry-wide, we have definitely heard that everything was just better than expected.
And we've got good supplies.
And we got good supplies. Yep.
So when they yield well for the farmer, they yield well in the seed fields, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So January 15th is our next big cutoff date for early cash discount. So a lot of farmers are just getting out of the fields now and finally wrapping up things out in the field. So I'm sure you're going into your offices and starting to think about next year if you haven't already. And we're ready to sit down with you too and get those seed orders in. And clearly we have everything defined as far as which products are the best products.
Yep.
So last week we talked a little bit about the germ issue. I think we haven't had any more surprises this week. Everything is coming in fairly good. Yeah,
we've had a lot of 95s come in this week. We're sorting through the ones in the areas that got a little too much rain or stayed out in the field. We know where they're at, and obviously we're producing the highest quality seed that we can possibly produce, and we had 100% germ this year so far, so it's not all bad news. But there is a little bit of bad news out there, but not all.
Nothing, no new surprises this week, which is good. Not a lot going on in the markets. Again, pretty. This time of year, it's kind of ho hum, and the markets are still in that trading range, kind of moving up and moving down, and we're seeing that this week. We had this big storm come through this week that kind of put everybody in a hunker down mode, and hopefully, I haven't heard a lot of storm damage from a lot of our customers, but I'm sure there's some out there. But we kind of lucked out on this one coming through. And without having a lot of damage.
There's some concern out west in the wheat areas that's getting drier and drier, which is very detrimental to wheat survival, the winter survival and whatnot. So I think some of the trade folks are watching that, but they're also watching what South America looks like. They're projecting a 5% increase in their overall supply this coming year because of more acres for one.
Again, right now that's what they're saying. But again, time will tell. Not sure. On the wheat deal, they need snow up there. They want snow right now to put a cover over that wheat and to help protect it. And so it doesn't sound like there's a lot of that in the forecast.
Nope. Sounds like we're going to be dry and warm, which is not perfect conditions for wheat.
Right.
I did see that the funds kind of flipped a little bit longer on corn and soybeans, less on wheat. So there might, this all plays together, but right now we're still demand and weather, which is the typical markets.
The people that are in the habit of betting money or betting long, so they think the prices could go stronger.
We haven't really had to fight yet for corn acres yet. So.
No, that's coming yet. It'll be after the first year. And again, we'll see where that goes. But there's a lot of things that can affect the market, yet. And but I still think that we're on solid footing.
Okay.
So Joe, I did hear this week that Santa's a farmer too.
Yeah, he put his order in.
Did he?
Yep.
Okay.
And we're not joshing you on this thing, but Santa Claus plants Merschman soybeans. He's like every other farmer. He's got to have, besides his normal job, he has other sources of income. But well, if you don't believe me, we're going to have a link to a video that the National Corn Growers just put out, and Santa in that video bought his Merschman beans last week. He farms down by Harrisburg, Illinois, and does a really nice job for us. And like I always say, Santa knows.
Santa does know.
He knows. So he's not planting Merschman beans because he doesn't know. It's because he knows. And so we appreciate, Santa, that you put your trust in us and that you plant Merschman soybeans. And please watch the video from the National Corn Growers Association. It is so well done. And it talks about how important farmers are and what they all do for feeding this country. So hats off to the National Corn Growers for doing a great job, and hats off to Santa down by Harrisburg, Illinois for being the star. Mm-hmm. And by the way, I am going to tell you that next week, Cup of Joe is on Christmas. I was able to convince Santa as soon as he gets out of the sled to come in and record Cup of Joe, because we post this at 5 a.m. in the morning, so he'll just be done delivering the last of the toys, and he's going to come on Cup of Joe on Christmas Day to talk to you two guys, as I understand it. I mean, he specifically said, I want to talk to Turk and Ben.
Wow, how'd you pull that off?
Well, I guess I got lucky. That's all I can say. So, anything else, Turk?
Nope, that's pretty much all I got.
Well, I'm going to bring a couple jokes up off of my phone. One of them it was from Bill Brewer, and Bill is our salesperson up in Central Iowa, and he sent that into me this morning. It says, if a parsley farmer is behind on child support, will they garnish his wages?
Probably.
You got to think about that one. Okay, now the other ones, again, I get a lot of help, and I appreciate all the help because you know how bad my jokes are. This one here, this is from Dave O'Hara, who has a television Hawkeye show statewide in Iowa. But anyhow, he sent me, he says, what does a gingerbread woman put on her bed? What does a gingerbread woman put on her bed? Cookie sheet. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll stay out of some of these Christmas ones, but here's another one. Everybody loves dogs, right? Okay. Or cats, whatever that may be. But what do you call a dog outside during winter? What do you call a dog outside during winter? A chili dog.
A chili dog.
Chili dog. Yeah, that makes sense. Now, I'll get one more just to make sure you turn this TV off as fast as you possibly can, okay? This one here is, what does a snowman take for anxiety? What does a snowman take for anxiety? A chill pill.
A chill pill, yeah.
Ben,
Nice.
A little bit of a smile on that.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah.
I'll give it to him.
All right. Well, big week coming up, Christmas, and we hope that you and your family are healthy and safe. And we, as always, we appreciate your business a lot. We'll see you Christmas Day with Santa.
Thanks for listening to Merschman Seeds Cup of Joe.